Hey everybody, did you miss us? The handful of people that check out our reviews. This is Chris. That is Jason. This is our Walking Dead review. There he is. I wasn't lying. He's right there. This is our Walking Dead review.
Yep.
We're doing a twofer this time. We missed last week's. We're even a little late with this week's. It's been really busy. Jason's got a lot going on. He's saving lives, people. He's saving lives. Walking Dead's got to hold off for a little bit while he's busy saving lives. Isn't that right?
Patching up holes more than saving lives, but...
There you go. There you go. He's saving more arms than Eden, that's for sure. Or Edith. I said Eden. I meant Edith.
Well, that's not hard. She's 0 for 1 at this point.
That was pretty bad. The whole point of that was so that they could give him that cool arm he's got now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay. So we're going to be talking about 2 episodes on this one. We're talking about Season 9, Episode 6, Who Are You Now? Season 9, Episode 7, Stradivarius, Violin, Stradivarius. Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're probably going to mishmash this up a little bit. We'll try to stay focused per episode. But I'll be honest with you, I'm almost kind of glad that we're doing it like this because I think these 2 episodes as a whole were a large introduction as to the world that we're in now.
Most definitely.
The last time we did a review was episode 5, Rick Grimes' last episode. So this is our first time talking about this new world 6 years later.
Post Grimes,
that's right. So, Jason, what stands out to you when I ask you, what do you think about this new world? We're now about 9 years into the apocalypse.
I am shocked everyone is as close as they are. Like, I was expecting, they got rid of Maggie in sort of an unceremonious way. She was just off.
Right. Yeah, she's just gone. We've been talking about this a little bit off and on, mainly through the Fear season as this news is coming out. She will be back, most likely. That they are giving her space, so she's got a new show coming out on, I don't know, ABC or CBS or something like that. And they're giving her space to do that. And but they said that she will be back at some point in season 10. Hence the very unceremonious and not killing of Maggie disappearance.
Yep. But yeah, it's interesting, every character has acted sort of within. I was pleasantly surprised, that they didn't go overboard with the whole reaction to the end of Rick Grimes thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think every character has sort of coped with a way that is believable with what they've been painted with consistently.
How do you like Carol's new hair? How do you like that?
Oh, that's a bit of a shock, isn't it?
That's a lot of white hair. That is a lot of white hair.
Is that a wig, or is the actress actually just getting that old?
No. No, that is definitely a wig. There's a lot of wigs going on. Of course, Michonne, that's always a wig. New wig for her as well. I don't like that so much.
No?
I've heard mainly positive feedback on her hair. I'm not a fan, though. I'm not buying it.
I'm okay with it.
Carol's looks okay. She gets that thing tied up. Otherwise, it just looks like, just a poof. It's like you took a bunch of cotton balls and put it on her head. Ezekiel looks exactly the same. But yeah, overall, I think there's a couple misses as far as how things should be in this world after 6 years. I mean, that is double the time of the entire time frame that we saw from episode 1, season 1, until episode 9, season 5. That's that entire time frame times 2. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of time, and I forgive it for the most part because they're trying to, they're trying to restart here. They're trying to kind of reboot the show and show some new stuff and put it in a new place, and I get that. I'm fine with it. Overall, it doesn't even really bother me. Although it does. I can't help when I watch it at this point. Still, be like, yeah, that's kind of weird. That should maybe be in a different place.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. So let's talk about the communities. Let's start there. So Hilltop and Alexandria look to be thriving.
Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting because it feels like the whole dynamic between these communities kind of took a soft reset, like not a full reset to what they were before, but sort of like a soft reset. Because the Saviors have gone, isolationist raider style.
Well, they're gone. They're gone. Jed had mentioned at some point since the fall of the sanctuary.
Yeah.
So the group that we saw was all that was left. I think we're going to end up revisiting that. I think they're going to go back in time a little bit and do some flashbacks and show us what happened. That's pretty important. And
I think some people got genocided, is what I'm thinking. Well, there was a definitive culling of the Saviors.
I think it would probably be pretty chaotic. They didn't have any leadership. They were having a hard time with food. I mean, we left these communities not in a great spot as far as where they are with each other. I mean, Oceanside had just killed a bunch of people. And we have seen nothing of Oceanside yet after this time jump. No one's really talking to each other. Some people from some of the communities are keeping in contact with each other, but Alexandria, for the most part, has isolated itself. It seems like the Kingdom and Hilltop are talking to each other a bit. They're planning. Well, in large part, the Kingdom is planning this fair, which is funny. In the comics, it's Alexandria that's doing it, but that's fine. The Kingdom's planning this fair, and this is going to be, if you haven't caught on, because they've only mentioned it a couple times, this is going to be a huge deal. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that going into the second half of the season. But this fair is going to be a really big deal. And so, the Hilltop's in. Alexandria is not. Alexandria is not in on the fair. I think that's going to change, though. But Michonne has... I don't want to... I would say she's taken a very strict leadership over Alexandria. I almost want to say a militant one, but I don't think that would be quite appropriate. But very strict and very isolationist. That being said, there's a lot of new faces everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and it's sort of interesting watching the dynamic between Michonne and Judith per se.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Negan is still or whatever the hell happened with Sanctuary is very interesting.
Oh, so I just want to comment there real quick because you probably didn't catch it on your end. You lagged out there a little bit. He said that the fact that Negan is still alive, I think, is what shocks you.
Yeah, after whatever sorted out with the Sanctuary, I figured somebody would have made an effort to tie up that particular loose end, but Michonne seems to have let him live and doesn't consider him a threat to the point that Judith is going down and getting math homework out.
I think it has been 7.5 years that he's been imprisoned now, and 6 years since the situation with Maggie. And I think that really proved something to a lot of people. I mean, if Maggie walks away and doesn't kill Negan, I think at that point it's kind of a moot point.
Maybe. I don't
know. And we were told in episode 7 that Maggie is gone. She's with what, Georgia? I think it is Georgie or Georgia. That group with with her twin sons, traveling around and all that. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of all of that. But she's keeping in contact via letters and such. I mean, it's generic and it sucks, but she's not going to be around. We're gonna get her back, but she's not going to be around. So it is what it is. I'm glad they're not just offing her. I mean, her and baby Herschel are pretty important. So Jesus is running the Hilltop right now, reluctantly.
He is. Oh my God, Jesus is running the Hilltop. I love it so much.
Do you like that, or just?
Oh yeah, that tickles me.
Really, in a funny spot?
Yeah, just given his particular personality over the years that we've known him, the fact that he's now running the Hilltop gives me a little bit of. Still, I'm gonna jump a bit between the episodes because
we're all over the place already. So
yeah, the fact that Jesus has brought in this sort of renaissance to the Hilltop, there's art and music and apparently a kid playing the kazoo that's bothering people.
Well, let me just mention that we don't know just for the sake of clarity, we don't know how long Maggie's been gone, nor do we know how long Jesus has been in charge. It sounds like he took over shortly after she left, but we don't know how long that's been.
Yeah.
In fact, they kind of went out of their way to not tell us. When Michonne asked Sadiq how long she had left, he would not answer.
Yeah.
There's a big yawn. That's good for the viewers.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's right. Just keep going. Follow it up.
Yeah. So we don't know how much of that is Jesus, but honestly, that whole scene with the hilltop, I got a kind of a kick out of. The fact that they've got like blacksmithing and a laundromat powered by a guy on a stationary bike.
Mm-hmm. No, it's very cool. The hilltop is doing very well.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, especially after the failure that was the stadium in Fear. It's interesting to see what happens when people actually do have the time to try and rebuild society. Do they build it to medieval standards? Do they try to recreate what we once had? If so, do we even teach our kids what these things are? Imagine trying to explain to a kid that's been born post-apocalypse what the hell a skyscraper is, or a computer, with no electricity.
That's interesting to say that, because that was the math problem that Judith was talking about to Negan, comparing the speeds of airplanes and such. And Negan's like, when do you think you'll ever see an airplane again? Or that many even? She's like, you're right, this is dumb. Yeah,
absolutely. It's fascinating to me, that, and the way in which they try to rebuild society, what they've prioritized.
Right. Well, and not all of them. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, not all of them are doing that great. I mean, they all seem to be doing fine from the ones that we saw, because we know that Sanctuary didn't do well, and we don't know what the status of Oceanside is, but Kingdom is having some issues. Their buildings, which were probably old to begin with, are falling apart, and they don't have a proper maintenance person. And that's something we saw as well. They're trying to keep some things together by basically Band-Aids, duct tape, and such. They don't have a proper person to keep up the more modern technology that's there, and with older buildings and just the fact that they're not being maintained properly, I'm glad to see that they're showing that side of things. And it's just one of those interesting things that kind of relates to where they are in this world and the issues that you can come across. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. And Daryl, do we want to talk about Daryl?
Let's talk about Daryl.
Sure. I think my favorite thing is Daryl just named his dog Dog.
Yep. You know what? You know what's funny about that? I have an uncle who named his dog Dog.
That doesn't surprise me.
Oh yeah.
Coming where you came from.
Where did I come from?
You came from out there, right? I grew up in a city, so we personify our dogs with human personalities. I know people that give their dogs pedicures, right? You come from a far more rural area than I do.
I come from a city of 70,000 people. So, okay. No, but
damn it. All right. Well, that.
But my uncle he is a very rural person. In fact, he used to bow hunt bears. So
is that even possible?
It is possible. He killed 3 of them. Fair fight.
Jesus Christ!
fair fight, by the way. A bear versus a guy with a stick and string. That's a fair hunt.
Yeah.
That's a fair fight any day. But yeah, no, he had a dog.
There's somebody out there.
Okay, there's somebody out there. What? I love the lag.
Oh, there's somebody out there who still wants to go and spear hunt things, right?
Oh, sure. No, but my uncle had a dog named Dog. He also, his day job was that he had a barber shop, so there would be Dog just laying around in the barber shop all day as he's cutting hair, and just like, hey, what's up, Dog? Come here, Dog. All the time.
That's funny.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so Daryl though, Daryl is definitely living like Hillbilly Jim. Enjoys that lifestyle, staying away from people. Apparently, he spent a lot of time looking for Rick.
Yeah, well, and my understanding was that he still is looking for the body, or he was,
Right, right.
or
He
something.
he definitely mentions with intent they never found a body ever. No one ever found a body. And I mean, honestly, there could be a number of different variable reasons as to why that could happen. It got devoured, or it literally blew up in the explosion, or it just went down the river. But
Yeah, but
we
there would
know
still
the
be,
reason. The reason is because he's not dead. But there's a lot of different reasons why
yeah.
that could have been.
Nah, I mean, like, in all those situations, though, you would find some kind of remains, though. Even if it washed down the river, you could follow it down pretty easily. It's a body. Um, and that river is not that.
Yeah, but there were a lot of bodies.
Yeah, I suppose.
Um,
Either way, we're neither here nor there.
Father Gabriel's still getting some.
Yeah.
I mean, geez.
And apparently yeah, apparently he's a little more bleeding heart. But I guess,
He's the
uh,
luckiest man in the apocalypse, hanging out with Rosita.
yeah.
They are showing something from the comic. They're showing some sparks there between Rosita and Eugene. That's interesting. That plays out a bit differently in the comic than what we're seeing, although we don't really know exactly how that's going to play out. But they're definitely planting some seeds there. Um, but I'm watching them like, God damn, Father Gabriel, you're the freaking preacher. Save some for the people who aren't that devoted to God.
Oh boy, and I don't even have a response to that.
Okay, all right, you don't have a response. That's
um,
fine.
uh, Judith. Did we want to talk about Judith?
Okay, yeah. What about Judith?
Um,
Little
uh,
ass kicker.
yeah, and um, sort of interesting where her personality falls. Um, kind of reminds me of how Carl was written. Like still has that inherent belief that people are still basically good,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And that was the whole purpose of her bringing people to Alexandria because she is convinced that she did the right thing.
Right. Yes, she is, and I think you're right. I think that's definitely a childlike optimism towards things, maybe a lack of understanding of the world, but at the same time, I think that she probably has a pretty good grip on the world, though. She's one of a handful of kids that we're going to see now where they've grown up, literally was born and have grown up in this zombie apocalypse.
Hmm. Yeah,
And I think they could have a lot of fun and interesting dynamics with that.
yeah, definitely. And just I think you could have a lot of fun with how they view the world.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of sadness to a child looking up at the ruins of something that we take for granted and asking, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
So some people have commented that she has Rick's gun. While she does seem to have kind of an old school style gun, that better not be Rick's gun. And not that I don't think that Judith shouldn't have Rick's gun, but Rick's gun was a 44 Python. You ever shot one of those,
yeah.
Jason?
Never tried a single gun in my life.
That gun will knock most weak, normal sized men on their ass. There's no way that kid is using that hand cannon. There's no way.
As soon as you said that, I pictured that midget pirate from Pirates of the Caribbean with the blunderbuss that gets like knocked back when he fires it.
Yeah, no, yeah, my father had one of those. He had many guns actually, but I fired some rounds off the Python, and enough to I was like, you know what, I don't want to shoot this thing. It's too much. Let me go back to the shotgun. No, those things are really powerful. There's no way a little kid's using it. There's no way. But she does have her own little sword.
Yeah. Oh,
God.
sorry about that.
That's-
You're gonna have to cut this out in post, man.
I don't think so. I think I'm going to leave it in. So let's see. What's his name? Looking for the name here. The kid that Ezekiel and Carol have basically adopted. I think
Henry.
Is it Henry? Okay, thank you, Henry.
Yeah.
So Henry's heading over to the hilltop. He's going to apprenticeship there and learn some smithy. That's pretty cool. That's actually right out of the comics again. It seems as though Henry is going to take a lot of the role that Carl had in the comics. Henry does not exist in the comics, so I think I've been asking leading up to things with Carl being passed, how are they gonna square that circle with some of the storylines? And I think they're definitely showing us that now. So that's good. It'll be interesting to see how that goes about. I don't think. Well, I think they could end up. They could end up doing this to where it's just as impactful, but even still, they've got the placeholder there. But I wonder how important it's going to end up being, because it's not Carl. It's Henry, who we just met, I think, a year ago?
Yeah. Well, and they might split that 50-50 with, obviously the more adult stuff going to Henry, but anything that they can shift onto Judith, I think they might try to do that to sort of maintain that Grimesy feel.
Mm-hmm. Well, now we're talking about the Grimes. Let's talk about the Grimes some more. There's a new Grimes.
There is indeed RJ.
Was that his name? I had forgotten. RJ. So we only got
I'm pretty sure
2 quick glimpses of little RJ, little Grimes here. Neither of which he looked like he was about 5-6 years old, which he'd be about 5. He'd be going on 6.
Yep.
He looked a lot younger than that. But we didn't get a real good look at him.
We did not. But I am excited to see more of him.
Yeah, no kidding. I want to learn all about this
thinker.
kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the last the ignoble end to the Saviors then?
Oh, sure. So I think we touched on that a little bit. I'm not really sure how much more there is to talk about it, but yeah, what's up?
Just the brutality of it, Carol went through the... so Carol goes through the problem of, surrendering, working over her stuff, her ring, all these things, getting Henry not to fight. Then she sneaks back, douses them in gasoline, wakes up the leader just so he can see it's her, and tells him that the Saviors die with him, and ignites him on fire.
That's a lot of interesting dynamics there. I like to think that she probably would have tried to get her ring back, but not killed them had they not touched Henry. But I think she was being very honest when she said that she lit them all aflame because they screwed with him. And you got to see the old school Carol there. It's like, I remember when I was watching that, and Jed wakes up and it's like, yeah, you're fucked. All of you, you're done.
This is a woman who has already lost one child.
This is also a woman who has already lit people aflame.
Oh, that's true. He does have a history of arsonism.
She will any means necessary. Interesting to note, because I know you don't watch The Talking Dead, mainly because of how you end up catching the show. The actor who's playing Henry is the brother to the actress who played Sophia.
Really?
Yep. And since you missed The Talking Dead, you might want to go and check out this last week's, because she was on The Talking Dead. They had Sophia on. Obviously, we have not seen her in about 7-8 years. She's a very good-looking young lady.
I'm sure.
So, very interesting for me as well, because in the comics, Sophia is still alive. So it's interesting to see the actress who they had picked to play Sophia so many years ago, and see how she kind of matches up to the Sophia that I know in the comics, which are all kind of caught up now as far as age and such. They're all about the same place. So, very interesting. Now, I'm going to throw you through an even bigger loop. You ready? Because I know you don't catch a lot of this stuff.
Yep.
So, all right. So, the actor who played Henry before the time jump Also the actress who played Sophia's brother.
Really?
Yep,
They're all three of them.
They're all related. And so like that's just kind of funny because they're all these kids that Carol has looked over as well, and they're all related.
Yeah.
So that's
fascinating.
That's how older Henry looks so much like younger Henry.
Gotcha. I mean, it makes sense.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's fun for those of you who don't get to catch a lot of that stuff. That's one of those inside notes that's worth bringing up. Okay, so let's talk about. We got two main things to talk about. Yeah, and that's the new people, and the story in the main storyline that we're seeing with that's really keeping us on our seats here with Rosita and Eugene. But we'll talk about that last. So we got a whole bunch of new people. We saw them at the end of episode 5. Magna, Connie, Kelly, Yamako, and Luke. What do you think of this new group?
Well, it's interesting. How do you feel that one of them is deaf? How do you think they survived the zombie apocalypse?
I think they'll survive a lot better than someone in a wheelchair. Is what I think. That still really bothers me. Sorry, people. You send me all the hate mail and all the hate comments you want. Until they show me how Wheels over on Fear has survived 2.5 plus years in zombie apocalypse, I'm calling BS every freaking day of the week until they give me some kind of examples. And spikes coming out of the back, not helping. That is not helping.
Yup.
Over on Morgan and Pals over there. No, I'm fine with it. She's been with somebody the whole time. That being said, I'm not going to sit here and say that hearing is giving her a heck of a lot of an advantage, or not. People who are hearing have a huge advantage. I think overall they definitely have an advantage on it. Walkers, though, are often very quiet, and I think we've seen plenty of times where walkers have snuck up on people. So when it comes to walkers, I'm not sure that being able to hear always helps.
Maybe. I just wasn't sure if you were going to have a strong opinion one way or the other on it.
Since they've established, I mean, yes, it can suck, but she has an established relationship with somebody there for years. I think since the beginning, the two of them have been together. So I think that's a little different.
Yep. I mean, as for the group on whole, we're just starting to get to know them, so I don't really have any super strong feelings for them one way or the other. I'm sure at least one or two of them's going to end up getting bumped off before the end of the season.
Okay, fair enough. A lot of people are gravitating towards Magna. Of course, she's obviously being put in kind of an alpha position. My favorite of the group, and again, I've known this group for years. Yamako, love Yamako. In fact, I like the Yamako version of the TV show more than the version that we see in the comics. She's already got more personality than what we've seen in the comics so far. So, loving the fact that she's got a nice composite bow there, kicking some ass. I think she's my favorite out of the group. I definitely like Luke's approach towards the arts and how that's important. I'm glad to see that they put some focus on that every now and then, that it's not just about knowing how to kill stuff.
Yeah. That's nice, to see that. It goes back to sort of what I was talking about with the Hilltop, that people, how people have reacted. With Rick's rule over Alexandria, it was very much, we need to know the things we need to know. And now that there has been a relative peace, we get to see people trying to reclaim some of the stuff that maybe they had put to the wayside.
What do you think is going to end up happening with the group? Do you think they're going to end up going to the Hilltop, or do you think they're well, you already said you think someone's going to die by the end of the season, but for the rest of them, do you think they're going to end up going to Alexandria or what?
Alexandria for sure.
You think just somehow they're going to end up going back there?
Yeah, I think Michonne will end up having a change of heart.
Okay. All right. So finally, let's talk about the big topic here, talking walkers.
Talking walkers.
Yeah, so that's you get the whole thing with Eugene and Rosita, and they're getting chased by walkers, not mindless walkers, but walkers that are apparently coming after them intentionally, not to eat them, but to get them. What do you think about all that?
Oh. That's some scary stuff there, dude. I like my zombies, the way that most people like their supermodels, brainless.
That is horrible. Now you can start sending all the hateful email and comments to Jason.
Yeah, you can find me under Chris's email.
That's kstallmedia@gmail.com.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, so okay, I was hoping to get a little bit more of your opinion on the whole thing with the walkers talking.
Yeah, I mean it was freaky, but here's the thing: I don't get it yet. Like, there's some component that I am missing. Why would walkers suddenly change? We are like.
But did they suddenly change? It's been 6 years.
Yeah, my point is you would think that if there was another smarter variant of walker, we would have stumbled across them, especially when walkers were more prolific in the earlier years.
I've been pointing out throughout the whole season how herds are becoming a thing. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Because you clearly have not caught on yet. So...
oh my God, zombie kings! They're the White Walkers from Game of Thrones. The dude, king of the North.
I think you're going to find out a lot about it with this mid-season finale coming up. So, interesting stuff though. It is the question because everybody knows I'm a big comic fan. It's the question from all the people I know who still watch the show. They're like, "What's up with these talking walkers? What's up with this? I mean, are they really talking? What's going on? I'm hearing stuff about these whisperers. What's all that?" And it is one of excuse me. It is one of the last big secrets I've got because the show has gotten really close to where the comic is in a lot of senses. So this has been a tough one to keep quiet. Of course, anybody who really wanted to know could go on the internet and easily spoil it. So. But I'll keep
No,
quiet.
I'm excited to find out all about them.
Yeah, I'm going to keep quiet for a little bit longer. It's some interesting stuff, that's for sure. So,
dude, zombie lords. That's what I'm calling them. Not zombie kings.
Oh man, you gotta get
lord. They lead their groups of zombies smarter than the average zombie. The zombie lord forms a herd and brings forth an army of undead flesh to consume living.
Yeah, you might be onto something. Jason, your internet sucks this week, and I can tell you're still a little tired. But so we're gonna wrap this one up. Let's give, even though we've been like 30 minutes, so let's give these two a combined rating. What do you give it? 1 out of 5.
Combined?
Yeah, overall, what do the two of them earn?
4.
Okay.
Overall 4.
Okay. I'm gonna go with a 4. Normally I stay within the 4s or the halves. I'm gonna go with a 4.25 because we're combining. These are pretty good. This has been a great season. I hope they keep it going. We got the mid-season finale coming up, but overall this has been really good. Naysayers be damned on this. If they stopped watching The Walking Dead, they're missing a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the strongest seasons we've seen in years. I'm very excited.
Definitely a lot better than Fear Season 4 and The Walking Dead Season 8. Those were just not done very well at all.
Yeah.
Guys, what do you think?
Well, even in comparison...
Go ahead, Jason.
Okay, even in comparison to like the first episode of the season, which did not leave me, necessarily wanting more, it's picked up well.
Yeah, no, it's been a really good one, guys. What do you think? Leave your comments below. Hopefully, in between the first half and second half of the season, Jason will get a little sleep and can get that internet problem fixed. so he's not lagging so much. But yeah, leave a comment below if you like the reviews, if you like our discussions on The Walking Dead. Feel free to join in the comments section and leave us an email, or like and subscribe. We could definitely use the support. But that is going to do it for now. Jason, gotta
Yes.
my leg. Jason, any last words?
Yes, I do. Remember, kids, when faced with math, the answer is always, this doesn't apply to real life.
That's so true. Remember, they may not have even said this to you when you were a kid. They used to say this to people my age all the time, that you'd never have a calculator on you all the time. Do you remember that? Did they ever tell you that?
Oh my god. Yeah, they used to. That was the excuse whenever anybody went to school. Why do we need to know this? Well, you won't have a calculator with you all the time. Ha ha!
Yeah.
The iPhone.
Right. We all have calculators on us all the time. A little bit of irony there as well. But maybe not so much in the zombie apocalypse. I don't know. Or do you make sure that your phone is charged in the zombie apocalypse to at least have your calculator?
Absolutely. And any other information you may need.
Well, Google's probably not up anymore, but
no, but anything that you might have downloaded to your phone.
That's true.
Preppers, might have like survival or agriculture or I don't know, medicine. Knowledge.
I know we were about to go, but I think that brings up an interesting premise. Looking at a zombie apocalypse, if it were to happen now, even if it happened back in 2010 when the show did, the person who has the interweb tubes, is that person not king? They literally hold all the access to everything. They could rebuild society, everything about it. Especially Google. Whoever's got the backlog for Google, you're king. You're done.
Pretty much.
Everybody follows you. You have all of the knowledge. Interesting premise. It's something they haven't touched yet. I wonder if they ever will. Alright, that's going to do it for us this week, guys. Thank you very much for listening. And we will be back next week for the mid-season finale. And then we are taking a little bit of a break on the reviews, but we are still going through the Telltale Walking Dead games. I'm going to have episode 3 out here real quick. Episodes 1 and 2. Well, actually, episode 1 is up. Episode 2 is scheduled to come out tomorrow on Thanksgiving. And I definitely think that you should check it out on Thanksgiving. There's a special reason why that episode's coming out on that day. So, alright, but that's going to do it for now. So, until next time, see you later.
Peace.
Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, is there anything to go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but if great if you could throw some support. You can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksongmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Yeah, who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, dig up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.